your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. Hope you're having yourselves a fantastic morning this morning as we are inside of the Cafe Kubal studios having some fun here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So a very, very good morning to each and every single one of you, and I hope I know it's rainy this morning. I know it's not ideal, but I hope that you're having a good morning nevertheless. Happy to be here, like I said, inside of the Cafe Kubal studios and Cafe Kubal with locations all throughout central and upstate New York. Make sure you find your way out to Cafe Kubal today by going to 3501 James Street as well as 208 North Townsend Street and 401 South Salina Street in Syracuse. You can also get to Cafe Kubal by going out to Manlius at 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, and of course their location inside of Golisano's Children's Hospital, and you can find them at their newest location, which is right there for you on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road in North Syracuse, New York, where you can go to their first ever drive-thru. So make sure you head out to Cafe Kubal today, any one of those locations, and we appreciate you so much, and thank you so much for whichever one you head out to, and obviously, as always, for supporting local, we thank you for that. So with that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I hope you're having yourself a fantastic start to your week. And like I said, despite the weather, hopefully your spirits are high. I know it's been raining in central and upstate New York and the Northeast here for a while, and I know that can get kind of sad and get you kind of down, but keep your spirits up, stay positive, and know that we're going to carry you through here for the next couple hours and get your day started off the right way. And if your day is going great, we hope to make it better. If it's not that great, well, we hope to flip the script and change it up for you in a positive way. So welcome to the show, welcome to Wake Up Call, and thank you so much for being here where sports meets life. We got an amazing show coming up for you today, and I'm ecstatic about the opportunity that we have to bring you a bunch of different things on today's broadcast. Of course, bringing you a lot of different pieces that we have here on today's broadcast of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So very happy to be here with you as we get set to bring you a bunch of different pieces today, including at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, Sports Ends in a Vowel, where I have my fellow Italian here on the show, Miss Gina Castelli, hence the vowel portion of this, as she is Italian and I am Italian, so we'll both be on this broadcast speaking on the world of sports. Today's topic is going to be name, image, and likeness, what we know so far. So we'll be discussing that with Gina at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And then after that, we'll be heading off to our conversation, our live chat with Mr. Joe Corley, the West Genesee Wildcats head football coach, ahead of the Section 3 Class A playoffs, which I'm very excited to have coming up. You can't believe they're already here, and so excited that sectionals are going on this year and that there's an opportunity for teams to advance in the playoffs in Central New York and beyond. So very excited about that. Joe Corley will be joining us with the West Genesee Wildcats. That coming up at 10 a.m. Eastern Time to start off hour number 2 of Wake Up Call here today, and talking about those Class A playoffs inside of Section 3. And then at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, Dave Kline will be joining the show for CNS North Stars. He is their head football coach, and he'll be talking about the Section 3 Class AA playoffs coming up here in 2021. So we got a trio of awesome guests, plus the ingredients to success, proudly brought to you by the wonderful, wonderful people at Avicolli. So I'm excited to bring that to you, and that'll all be coming up where sports meets life here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in just a little bit. So thank you so much for being here and for hanging out with us. I appreciate it so very much. So with that being stated here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, make sure you're following us on Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, Twitter at Call DT, and Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. Hit the like button and the follow button and all the good stuff. So make sure that you do that, and find us, of course, on wakeupcalldt.com, and you can find us there as well as on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Wake Up Call on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt, and our two Facebook outlets, facebook.com/wakeupcalldt and facebook.com/livenowdt, all the places to find the show live every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And then you can head off to the archives after that and go to Stitcher, Spotify, TuneIn, Podbean, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, as well as YouTube and MixLR at Spotify. If I didn't say Spotify before already, you can find us at all of those channels by searching Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora or simply Wake Up Call DT as one word. So, excited for what's coming up on today's broadcast, but before we get to those awesome conversations and interviews, it's imperative and important for me to start things off here with some college football talk before we get into all of our other conversations that are coming up here today. And that college football talk and discussion that I have for you this morning is, looking at the rankings. And those that know the show, you know that I get pretty animated when it comes to the rankings. I start to really get into it here because, some of these things are very frustrating. And looking at how these teams are ranked, where they're ranked, it gets kind of ridiculous. And you start to question a lot of things. You should, if you're looking at these rankings the way that I'm looking at them. So Georgia's number one in the country. I'm not going to fight you there. Georgia's in the SEC, and they're the undefeated SEC team, so I give them credit where credit is due. I'm not going to get upset about that. Georgia's in good footing right now to go to the SEC championship as long as they take care of business. They beat Clemson when Clemson was ranked in the top 3. We know Clemson, they've defeated 3 ranked teams in a row. Number 8, Arkansas, they blew them out 37-0. At Auburn, who was 18th in the country at the time, 34-10, and against number 11 Kentucky, 30-13 at home. So they've scored at least 30 points against each of these ranked teams and beat them all in a row convincingly, beating Arkansas by 37, beating Auburn by 24, and beating Kentucky by 17. So, to me, Georgia deserves to be where they are. And like I said, I'm not going to fight anybody on that. They deserve to be there. The team that I believe deserves to be in the top 4 and should have been in the top 4 and played in the college football playoff last year is the team that played Georgia in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, which I went to January 1st of this year down at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. Shout out to Peach Bowl Inc. and the entire team out there. Cincinnati deserved to be there then, and they deserve to be where they are right now. Cincinnati is 7-0 and putting themselves in a good place. They defeated number 9 at the time, Notre Dame, on the road in South Bend, 24-13, and they've gone on to blow out UCF, defeated Navy on the road in a close one, 27-20, blew out Temple, and took care of Indiana on the road at Indiana, playing a Big Ten team out of conference, 38-24, beat Murray State 42-7, and Miami of Ohio 49-14. So they're blowing out teams that are unranked here. They're winning games on the road against the Big Ten and Notre Dame. And now they have a few games left here to come. And, of course, they're going to have a team that's going to try and play spoiler in SMU. That game will be coming up on November 20th. SMU ranked in the nation's top 20. So, big-time game coming up for both teams there. And as we look at these college football playoff rankings here, like I said, as we go through the rankings this morning before we get to our 3 big conversations coming up, not upset at all with this. Alabama 7-1. They're back in the top 4. I'm not stunned by this. Alabama losing only 1 game this season. It was to unranked Texas A&M, albeit in the SEC, and they just defeated Tennessee 52-24. The reality of it all is they have 1 ranked game left on the schedule, but if Auburn does what they're supposed to do, they're the only team in America that can lose 2 games and make it into the college football playoffs. So if they got 1 loss, I'm not worried about it. LSU, New Mexico State, Arkansas, and Auburn are their last games here, and they're on the road at Auburn, who's ranked in the nation's top 25 on November 27th. But again, Alabama creeping back into the top 3, and as the expectation is that would happen because they're Alabama. So I'm not surprised at all that they are where they are. And they're a good team, obviously. So they had a trip up here, but they're going to be given some more wiggle room than others. Oklahoma has put themselves in a place where they are in the nation's top 4. Oklahoma, to take a look at their schedule and how things have shaken out for them in recent history here. Oklahoma, who is looking to become a new SEC team, their schedule this year, they barely got out of the Tulane game, and that was at home in Oklahoma. 40-35, they won. They beat Western Carolina 76-0. Barely got past Nebraska 23-16. Defeated West Virginia by the hair of their teeth 16-13. Defeated Kansas State on the road 37-31. Defeated Texas in a shootout 55-48. Defeated TCU 52-31, and at Kansas 35-23. They're gonna play 3 ranked teams to end the season, which will show me a lot. Texas Tech, they play next on October 30th. Then they're at ranked Baylor, at home against ranked Iowa State, and at ranked Oklahoma State to end the season. We'll see what that Oklahoma State game looks like now that Oklahoma State knows that Oklahoma is going to be leaving the Big Ten. So we'll see if that rivalry potentially gets a little more heated as we go into this upcoming game that they have at the end of this season. So Oklahoma still has to show me something, and we'll see where they go from here. Ohio State is ranked 5th in the country at the time as we go through the rankings here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Cafe Kubal studios. At Minnesota, they won that game 45-31. They lost to Oregon 35-28 when Oregon was ranked 12th in the nation, and that was at home for Ohio State. They defeated Tulsa. They defeated Arkansas convincingly, at Rutgers convincingly, against Maryland convincingly, at Indiana convincingly. A big game here, which should decide whether or not Ohio State stays in the top 5, and that's against Penn State. On October 30th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ABC, Penn State is ranked 20th in the nation, and then they have to play top 10 ranked Michigan State and top 10 ranked Michigan to end the season, with Nebraska and Purdue in the middle of all of this. So Ohio State's still got a lot to show me, and they're going to play against ranked teams, and they're going to play that Penn State game, which I think if they win it, then, we got to figure out, I'm sure if they win it, because, the AP and the coaches poll loves the Big Ten. If they win it, I would imagine they're going to stay in the top 5, if not move to 4, but if they lose to Penn State, then they got to drop here. I don't know how far they're going to drop, because there's teams that are in the top 10 that are from the Big Ten that don't make any logical sense to me. One of those teams being Michigan, who's ranked number 6th in the AP, and they've defeated 0 ranked teams. Western Michigan, Washington, Northern Illinois, Rutgers, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Northwestern. None of the teams are ranked, yet Michigan is considered a top 6 team, which is total BS to me. But they will play ranked Michigan State this weekend, October 30th at noon on Fox, and that's on the road. Then they'll be at Penn State on November 13th, and they'll be home against Ohio State on November 27th. That'll show me something, because those will be the first ranked games that Michigan has played all season. To be in the top 6 and not play a single ranked team makes no sense to me. Oregon, here in the AP Top 25, is number 7 in the nation. And here's how I look at this. If Ohio State and the Big Ten are going to be regarded so high all the time, then Oregon defeating them should give them a lot of clout and should hold a lot of weight. And it looks like it has, as we're seeing this season Oregon be in the top 7 after only playing one ranked team, and that's Ohio State on the road, and defeating them 35-28. They've also defeated Fresno, Stony Brook, Arizona. They lost to Stanford, who was unranked, defeated Cal, and defeated UCLA on the road. So they will not play a ranked team the rest of the season against Colorado, at Washington, Washington State, at Utah, and Oregon State, unless things change. So again, if the Oregon Ducks if Ohio State is going to be considered as high as they are, then you have to consider Oregon in that same footing, because they defeated Ohio State. Now, here's my issue. Ohio State lost to Oregon, and they're ranked higher than they are. That, to me, is that Big Ten clout. Both teams are 6-1. This is how I look at it. If they were in the same division in the NFL and they were both 6-1, and head-to-head, Oregon defeated Ohio State, they would be above them in the standings. So in the rankings, it should be as such. Oregon has defeated Ohio State. They're both 6-1. They deserve to be above them because they have the same record, and the head-to-head record belongs to Oregon. So that makes no sense. Michigan State is ranked in the nation's top 10, and they have not defeated a ranked team. Or pardon me, they defeated ranked Miami when Miami was ranked, 38-17 at Miami. Besides that, at Northwestern, Youngstown State, Nebraska, Western Kentucky, at Rutgers, at Indiana. Now, they have ranked Michigan, like I said, ranked Ohio State, and ranked Penn State coming up. So that will show us, hopefully, something as we step forward here. Because as of right now, I'm learning not a lot about why Michigan State or Michigan should be ranked in the nation's top 10. It doesn't make sense. And until they start to, I don't know, do something against teams that I think are actually doing something, it's going to be hard for me to rank them high in my book. Number 9, Iowa. Iowa defeated ranked Indiana, who's not ranked anymore, ranked Iowa State. They defeated Kent State, Colorado State, at Maryland. They defeated Penn State in a close game, 23-20, and they lost to Purdue, who was unranked. And Iowa is still in the nation's top 25. Iowa will have no ranked teams left on their schedule. And I don't believe that Iowa is going to be in the college football playoff. So, that's that's just something that I don't think the committee would want to do in and of itself. Like I just don't see the committee doing that at any point in time here. And so I don't anticipate that this is going to be something that we're going to have to worry about seeing. But, it's something to look at because, again, it's the Big Ten. You look at the top 25 in the AP, you got Big Ten Ohio State, Big Ten Michigan, Big Ten Michigan State, and Big Ten Iowa. And none of them, arguably, have shown anything. Now, Ole Miss, except for when playing each other. Ole Miss is number 10 in the country right now. They lost to Alabama. That's their only loss of this season. Most people do lose to Alabama, so you can't really fault them for that. 42-21, they lost the game. They defeated unranked Louisville, unranked Appalachian State, unranked Tulane. All those games were at home. They defeated ranked Arkansas, who is 13th in the country, 52-51. Defeated unranked Tennessee on the road, and defeated unranked LSU at home. They have a ranked game against Auburn on the road coming up this weekend at 7 p.m. on ESPN on October 30th. And then they have ranked Texas A&M, and Ole Miss will have to show something. But Ole Miss in the top 10 after defeating Arkansas, I'm guessing here. And, the Alabama game just got way out of hand. So you can't say that, at the end of the day, they played well against Alabama. They got blown out, but there was moments. Notre Dame is 11 in both polls. You know how I feel about this. And taking a look at Notre Dame in the most recent poll here, and they're ranked number 11 in the country, they barely defeated FSU on the road, unranked. Toledo, unranked. Purdue, unranked. Wisconsin was ranked. That was convincing, 41-13. They lost to Cincinnati, who was ranked in the nation's top 7. They barely defeated Virginia Tech, and they just defeated USC 31-16. They now have no ranked teams left. They have North Carolina and Navy at home, at Virginia, Georgia Tech at home, and at Stanford. 3 of their next 5 games to end the season will be at home, and Notre Dame has still not shown me anything except for the fact that I'll give them some credit for taking down Wisconsin, who again is ranked high because they're in the Big Ten, and the rankings love the Big Ten. So I will say that I am excited to see Wake Forest at 13. I think that they deserve this. Wake Forest has commanded all season. They've found ways to come back and do what they need to do. They are undefeated. They're 7-0. They defeated Old Dominion and Norfolk State. They also defeated FSU. Then they won at Virginia, Louisville, at Syracuse, and at Army, scoring 70 points in a shootout against Army, 70-56. Now, Wake has not played a ranked team yet, and that is something that I would like to see how they would do against a ranked team, because they could go undefeated through this whole season, then go to a bowl game and play a ranked team and get blown out, But Wake Forest has done a tremendous job and under Dave Clawson over the years. So I am happy to see them here. But in the spirit of how I've, criticized other teams, they have not played a ranked team yet. So it would be nice to see what they could do against that. Texas A&M has a win that's coveted by many, which is a win over Alabama, 41-38. They did that at home. They're on a 3-game winning streak, but they lost to ranked Arkansas and ranked Mississippi State, and unranked Mississippi State, which leads me to believe that this team does not have any shot of getting into the college football playoff because they have 2 losses. And so we probably will not see Texas A&M there. Although last year, with one loss, I thought they deserved it, and they did not get in. That spot was reserved for Notre Dame. So, Texas A&M getting a win over Alabama, great. But 2 losses are not going to put them in a good place. Coastal Carolina, after losing their game to Appalachian State, has dropped to 24 in the polls. As thought, Big Ten beats the hell out of each other, and they just switch spots. Big Ten beats no ranked, they are undefeated, but they haven't played a ranked team. Doesn't matter. They move up the polls. Last year, Ohio State and Michigan didn't play for 3 weeks and moved up the polls. Michigan moved up 4 spots at being 0-0. So that's not going to be fair. What also isn't fair is Coastal Carolina was undefeated. They lost 1 game, and unlike Michigan, who plays all these unranked teams, Coastal Carolina loses to Appalachian State, who's unranked, and drops 10 spots in the AP and 10 spots in the coaches poll. Why? Because they're in the Sun Belt. If they were in the Big Ten, they would still be in the top 20. And that's just reality, even if they played unranked Big Ten teams. Now, UTSA, who will soon be an American Athletic Conference school, the Roadrunners, I want to shout them out. They're in Conference USA right now. They're in the nation's top 25 at the moment, which is great. And they have not played a ranked team. They have gone undefeated, though. They are 8-0. So there is, at least in the top 25, if a team is undefeated, they get some type of recognition. And so I guess that's a positive that you can take away from the nation's top 25, albeit I think skewed toward Notre Dame in the Big Ten more often than not. And listen, this is not me knocking Notre Dame in the Big Ten. This is me telling, if this was the SEC, if this was the ACC, I would look at it and go, why has the ACC got 3 schools in the top 10 that haven't beaten anybody? You know, fair is fair, right is right, wrong is wrong. And to me, I mean, Penn State dropped 13 spots, so, you know, there's some justice here that Penn State, being in the Big Ten, dropped 13 spots after losing it, and they only lost to Illinois by 2. So, you know, there is something to be said about that. But the Ohio State, the Michigan State, ranking them as high as they're ranked, I think is ridiculous. And dropping Coastal Carolina so far after losing 1 game. Remember, last year, Coastal Carolina, so between 2 seasons, they've lost, 2 games? So, to me, it's just crazy. If they were Notre Dame, they'd be in the college football playoff. So, you know, Pittsburgh's rising in the polls, which I love to see that, and I commend them on that. I had them defeating Tennessee of the SEC on the road this year, and they did that. So that's good to see. But a lot of these, you know, the top of these rankings to me, hard to agree with. When we break it down, though, and take a look at this and who's ranked where, look at the SEC. Georgia and Alabama in the top 3. Shouldn't surprise you. Ole Miss is also ranked in the top 10. So you got 3 in the top 10. You got Kentucky, 12. Texas A&M, 14. And you have Auburn at 18. So a lot of representation there. A little bit different in the coaches poll. 1 and 3 are the same. Ole Miss is 9 in the coaches poll instead of 10. Kentucky is 12 in both polls. And then we have Texas A&M 14 in both polls. And we have Auburn at 21 instead of 18. Looking at the rest of the conferences out there, the American Athletic has Cincinnati at 2 in both polls. And the American Athletic from there also has SMU, 16 in the coaches poll, 19 in the AP as it stands. And future team UTSA to the American is 23 and 22, respectively, from AP to the coaches poll. From there, looking at the Big Ten has about half the conference in here. So Ohio State is ranked, Michigan is ranked, Michigan State is ranked, Iowa is ranked, as I mentioned, each of those. And Penn State also ranked. So you have those coming in. And then from there, the Big 12, for now, has Oklahoma ranked 4 in both polls. I say for now because Oklahoma's leaving. But you have Oklahoma ranked in the nation's top 25. And outside of Oklahoma, you have Oklahoma State at 15 in both. Baylor 16 and 18 from AP to coaches poll, respectively. And Iowa State 22 and 23 from AP to coaches poll. The Sun Belt has Coastal Carolina. BYU is independent, but a future Big 12 school is in the top 25, only in the AP. And outside of that, the ACC has Wake Forest, the highest ranked team in the ACC this year is Wake Forest. They're 13 in both polls. And beyond that, they have Pittsburgh at 17 in the AP, 19 in the coaches poll. And then NC State is in the coaches poll at 25, not in the AP. So that's what things look like as we shake down the top 25 rankings. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. When we spin back around here, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, we'll be bringing you our special segment that we have here every other Tuesday bi-monthly here with Gina Castelli called Sports Ends in a Vowel. That's coming up here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios where sports meets life. So we're happy to have you back here, but not before you hear from these fantastic businesses that comprise Central and Upstate New York that we appreciate so very much.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Cafe Kubal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafekubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Kubal needs. Cafe Kubal, coffee for the soul.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt, hanging out with you where sports meets life inside of the Cafe Kubal studios and having some fun here at Cafe Kubal on 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 208 North Townsend Street. And those are all in Syracuse. You can find them inside of Golisano's Children's Hospital in downtown Syracuse. And you can also find them at 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, and on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road, where you can find their drive-through location at Sweetheart Corners in North Syracuse. Very excited about all the guests we have on today's broadcast, A Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. The first of those being Miss Gina Castelli, as we have our bi-monthly segment on Tuesdays, exclusively here on Wake Up Call, entitled Sports Ends in a Vowel, because you got two Italians talking about the wonderful world of sports. So a lot of great stuff coming up here today. We have an awesome topic, but before we get to anything, let's bring in the lady of the hour, and that is Miss Gina Castelli. Gina, how are we doing today?
Good morning, Dan. I'm doing well. How are you? Happy birthday.
Thank you.
You had a good birthday.
I did. I had a very nice birthday. I got a very nice message from you, and I appreciate that very much. The messages are the best gifts, you know, and that's how I look at it. The people that remember, the people that reach out, the people that take the time to take the time. So thank you for the birthday message that I got from you, because it was very well received, and I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome, and I hope you had a good day.
I did. I had a great day and got to relax. I had lunch with Dad, dinner with Mom, went to go see one of my favorite characters of all time that I never knew was going to be on the big screen, Venom. And I got to go see Venom there with my niece, my nephew, and my good buddy Isaac. So I got to have some fun. Got to live in my Spider-Man world and be a big kid for a bit, and my mom teamed up with my dog and got me a nice cookie cake. So I can't complain. It said "Happy Birthday, Daddy" on it from my dog Lily. So I got no complaints. I got good people in my life, and I feel very very blessed. So I definitely appreciate you appreciate those moments. And now I'm not trying to wish a year away. I'm not trying to be a year older, but I'm like, why can't I celebrate my birthday like 6 times a year? You know what I mean? So go down to Disney or do something like that. So do you ever do anything special for your birthday?
Oh, geez. I just don't want any more birthdays.
Okay.
There's a point in your life where it's like, could it just stop at a certain age, and you just like end right there, and it's as long as I'm still, here on earth. But, I'm getting close to a milestone birthday. So, I don't know I don't know. I mean, my 50th birthday there, we had a big, I don't even know if it was a surprise party, but it was a big party, and that was fun. And I like doing things like what you did. I think those are very memorable. Spending time with the people you love is the most important thing. And yours sounded like a really good full day of being with the people that you love most. So I want to be around family more than anything else on my birthday.
Yeah, that's what you want to do. You want to be around the people that love you and care for you and know all your secrets. So
Exactly.
But you have some fun. Now, you had an interesting weekend this past weekend, and if you'd like, I'd love for you to kind of share that. On the weekend that followed my birthday, you got a little surprise yourself.
I did. And it was amazing. Saturday, what I found out, this was a 2-year project in the making before COVID happened, when some of my former players heard that I was thinking about retiring, and my partner, Heidi, they wanted to do something for me for my retirement. So they had a surprise retirement, quote unquote, retirement party. Now that I'm working at UAlbany, it became more of like how many years I've been coaching party. But it was amazing. I was so blown away and so surprised because also this weekend I was inducted into the Capital District Basketball Hall of Fame, and it was on Sunday. So naturally, some of my siblings came, my mom came. So, it kind of all blended in. So I couldn't think that there was anything being schemed up, because I just thought they were coming for this event. And so in any event, when we went to the restaurant, my mom and my sister and Heidi brought me to the restaurant. There were over 100 people waiting for me there, and it was amazing. I can't even describe the feeling of I was just overwhelmed. That was by far the most surprised I've ever been. Usually I could figure things out like that, so I've never usually totally surprised when it comes to these things, but it was wonderful to see some players that I coached in the 90s, to players that, early 2000. So many of the parents from Lemoyne came, and it was wonderful. It was just a wonderful night,
And a night that chronicles so much of what you've done, that chronicles, your career and your different stops. What did that mean to you, that you were in this place where you got to genuinely really just celebrate so many different chapters of your life all in the same night? Bring me into that.
Yeah. first I thought it was a dream. You know, I have these dreams and you see all these people. And when I walked in, I really was in shock because I couldn't figure out why the person to the left of me was from Santa, was one of the first people I coached, why she was in this room. And then I saw a parent from Lemoyne that, you know, I just recently coached or his daughter. And then I saw a friend of mine. I'm thinking, why is she here? So I got like thinking like, why are all these people here? All these different facets of my life, you know? And so it was just kind of strange. And I couldn't figure out like, why is everybody here? And then after a while, obviously, you know why everybody's there. And it was just wonderful. I mean, you know, and then just roaming around that night and telling stories. And of course, you know, players always exaggerate their stories about me. So, and they had a little program, you know, where a couple of the players went up and spoke. And what they gave me was a book of stories. So they had a website that you could submit some stories when I coached. And so whoever wanted to, whether it was a player, a parent, you know, my family, they could submit these stories. So they put it into this book, which I just started reading last night, which was really cool. I mean, you know, again, a lot of funny things, some really great, wonderful things that were said as well that, you know, again, just overwhelming to be totally honest. I'm not sure I really deserved all that, but it was beautiful. And, you know, sometimes we wait until people pass away to do things like this. And I'm just really grateful that, you know, I'm able to celebrate that right now.
Yeah, you know, and to me, like you said, you know, sometimes we wait, you know, we wait so long. We wait until someone's life is past, you know, before we say thank you. And it's such a crazy thing to me that we would ever, you know, that's kind of something that we do, is that we wait and we honor them when we can't hug them and can't, you know, speak to them face to face, which is crazy. And so I'm so happy that, you know, we get to honor you today. We get to honor you now. We get to honor you in this moment. Did you ever think that this is where your life would lead to? That you would have touched so many lives and assistant coaches and players and people in the community and parents and faculty and staff and total strangers that connected with you through your passion, through something that you love? Did you ever think that your dreams and your aspirations would lead you to a place where you would be surrounded by people who literally got together just to celebrate you? Not because they were in town, not because they had something else to do, not because they were at a concert and you just happened to be there, but that people literally said, I'm coming to see Gina, celebrate Gina. Did you ever imagine that life was going to get to a moment like this, where Gina Castelli would be the focal point and the lives you touch through the things that you love was all going to come together, and that people from all different eras of your life were going to be in a place where they got to know each other through you?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I don't even think ever I thought that, you know, I never dreamed of, you know, being in these situations. I think that the thing, like you, Dan, you know, when you do something you love, you know, you find your purpose in life and you do it with love, all these things come back to you, you know, because when you do things with your passion and with your heart and with total love, it just finds positive energy everywhere. And, you know, and people want to be around you and people want to be coached by you. And I think that's really what happened. It wasn't something that, you know, I dreamed of. I saw myself, you know, 30 years from now thinking, you know, at the end of 30 years, this is what I want to see. I just really kind of followed my heart and, you know, did the things I knew were appropriate in the sense that, you know, my family taught me in terms of team, and went from there. And, you know, the love for coaching and the love for basketball really more than anything else brought me here. So, you know, did I ever dream of something like this? No, and I'm just so blessed and so grateful that I could do what I love all my life. That was my message most of this weekend. It's just that I'm just so blessed that I was able to do the thing I love the most, as my job. And it's so cool, and because of that, you enjoy what you're doing. People feel that positive energy and that positive vibe. They want to be around it.
Yeah, and it's incredible, like you said, when you do what you love and you love what you do, that it all comes back. That it finds its way back to you. People say, how do I make money doing what I love? How am I successful? How can I get there? And the reality of it all is you get to where you're going by chasing what you love and doing what you love and being who you are. And they say nice people finish last, and I would refute that. I'm 36 years old. I just turned 36, and I feel like with everything that God's blessed me with and I've been able to do, I've lived a full life at 36. And so to me, if I get to live 36 more years, well, now I get to live a whole extra life. And it's not hard to love people. It's not hard to help people. It's not hard to to just be a big kid and appreciate who you are. This world overthinks things. This world overanalyzes things. This world judges. But the reality of it all, and I tell people this all the time, I look at the world as such. The world is an NFL stadium. There's 70,000 seats. There's 22 players on the field. Most of the people on this planet sit in the stands and comment on the players. I've chosen to be on the field. They've chosen to say, well, I could be better than Dan if I was on the field. But I'm going to live my life where I'm playing every down as opposed to talking about what I would do if I was on the field. There are dreamers. There are doers. I'm both. And the one thing I will never be is a bystander. And that's something that I think if you want to live your life and you want to fulfill your dreams and you really want to get something out of it, you got to get your butt out of the stands, put the beer down, get in the gym, and get your butt on the field.
Mm-hmm. That is so good. That's such a great. I had to write that down. You're that is awesome. What a great analogy, and it's so true. We can choose to just sit and kind of be average, or we could choose to really live our life the way we were meant to be. We only have one life, and God blessed us to, with, he blessed us all with great talents, and, it's up to us to do the most with the talents we have. That's so good. Yeah, I love that.
That coming from Gina Castelli here, Sports Ends in a Vowel. Our topic of today on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios is the topic of NIL, name, image, and likeness, what we know. You spent a lot of time in the coaching ranks. You talked about Siena and obviously Lemoyne, where you and I met. You're at Albany right now as part of their staff. So at a D1 institution, name, image, and likeness, obviously front and center. What do you know at this point of name, image, and likeness? How would you describe how it's going with us being in a scenario there where for the first time ever student athletes can benefit from their name, from their image, from their likeness? What are you taking away from it at this point?
When you told me this topic, I was thinking, wow, it's probably the least that I know of any of the topics that we spoke about. In that, this is just coming to the forefront in my last year at Lemoyne. So even at UAlbany, I haven't seen too much of it. And but how do I feel about it? I kind of am 50-50. I guess because I've always coached at a level of an in between. I've never coached at the highest level where you see how much the image and likeness of a student athlete is being used to promote games and things. So so when I think of it that way, I think, I kind of understand why you would do that, because sometimes we take advantage of the student athletes, for our own as institutions. But then I look at it on a smaller level, like Lemoyne or Siena or even New Albany, and I think of it as, the promotion piece to it for schools is so important, to be able to use some of the athletes to get more, because as you know, Dan, when you go to the Lemoyne games, it's not like, we sell out and, we've had sellout crowds there. So, so for kids to want to benefit from it, sometimes it's a little bit more difficult to understand. But I get it, but I'm also kind of on the fence with it at different levels. And I also think that it's at our level, and I say at our level, at smaller D1, at a D2 school, it's really hard to keep up with all of this because the money's just not there. And so, you're just trying to keep up with the Joneses, but you don't know if you can really do it. And so I just kind of feel like this is another thing to just kind of take the bigger programs, and move them into another area of the NCAA is kind of how I look at it.
Yeah, I mean, is this just the rich become richer? I mean, is NIL just further distancing the already distanced programs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly sometimes how I look at it. But then, then you see the one kid who, is definitely being used the most in promotion and not benefiting at all. And that player could use that, financially for him or herself, or, for family members. So, so again, it's like sometimes I'm 50-50, I see the benefits of both, and then I could see like how it could hurt, some schools.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, you want to see the benefit, but you hope that there's benefit to D2 schools. You hope that there's benefit to D3 where there are no scholarships, and you got to pay your way. Some of these student athletes at the D3 level are, doing 1,000 things just to break even in school. So, I think, where you want to see this help is D3 and D2. You want it to help D1 schools that maybe don't have the notoriety, but what it seems to be doing is just helping those that are already helped. And, the way I look at the NCAA Division 1, 2, and 3 is, to me, and then obviously the factions within Division 1, is, as I look at this grand scheme of things and factions within D2 and D3, if I have 50 people sitting at a dinner table and the Power 5 of D1 is eating a full sub, and then I have the rest of Division 1 eating a half sub, and then I have D2 some eating a half sub or a quarter of a sub. By the time I get to D3, I'm hoping that there's sesame seeds that have fallen on the ground, and that's my concern is, if name, image, and likeness is to help everybody eat, I still think the dinner table is rationed off the way that it always has been, where Alabama's going to be eating a full sub, and Allegheny's going to be having maybe a crumb from a muffin that was left on the counter 2 days ago. Mm-hmm. So how are we getting any better?
Yeah, and again, I think the knowledge of this for myself isn't deep enough to make more comments about it, other than, I hope where it goes is at all levels it's benefited. If there's student athletes at the Division 3 level that, people are big fans of, that they can buy their jerseys and they can benefit from, I think that's awesome. I think of a player I had at Lemoyne, like Michaela Roberts. She may have really benefited from something like this because everybody knew her, in the community. And if she was able to use her name or image and likeness, and it might have been a lot better for her too, So, but it's just interesting in the direction the NCAA is going, and how much more power I do think some of these schools, the BCS schools, have now over the NCAA, and where the NCAA will be in the next 10 years will be really interesting. You know, I just find it to be that I could see some schools moving away from the NCAA and creating their own, you know, and it'll be an interesting 10 years, I think, in the future of the NCAA.
Yeah, it definitely will be, as we're here with Gina Castelli, Sports Ends in a Vowel, speaking on the topic of name, image, and likeness and what we know so far. What has Albany done? Has anybody come in? Has there been anybody to speak to the student athletes as part of the leadership team, so to speak? Has there been anything unique?
One thing I'm not sure, because I when this came into as legislation, I think it was last spring, and in terms of what I know, I wasn't a part of UAlbany then, so I wasn't aware. And being that I'm part-time, I'm not always privy to the information at UAlbany, so I'm not really quite sure what they've done. But I can say that from what I have seen in terms of compliance there, it's very well regulated, and I'm sure that they have, probably done some type of programming for the student athletes and what is, what they can and cannot do. In terms of Lemoyne, I know when it came out, first they started emails, and I'm sure now there's some programming involved with it as well, but I'm not quite sure exactly what they did and what they're doing on a day-to-day basis in terms of making it compliant.
Yeah, I mean, there's more questions than answers right now, and at this point, we will see it as it comes. But for you, kind of a final point, Gina, for the student athletes that you're around right now, what do you hope for them in this whole grand scheme of things?
I hope for student athletes exactly, what I've hoped for when I started in coaching, that, they find their experience at the college level to be exactly what they were hoping for, that they not only win championships, but they win in life, that they can experience, a lot of what we were able to experience at Lemoyne with community service and inside the L program, that they get a better understanding of who they are, and they are equipped with tools to make them better people and able to serve their community as they graduate. I think, in simple terms, that's what I hope for. In terms of the financial piece, I think scholarships are amazing. You can get a scholarship to go to a college, and pays for your college education. But as we know, anybody that has been able to go to school and attend a college and have that college experience, there's nothing like it. It's a 4-year stint. It's one of the shortest periods of your life that could be one of the best times of your life, and that's what I really hope for any student athlete. I think that's what college is for, in my opinion. And maybe I'm old-fashioned, I don't know, but I think when we start, getting too grandiose and trying to make everything a business, you lose sight of just the simple things that college really brings, and how we can grow and learn as people.
That coming from Gina Castelli here, where sports meets life on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, as we bring you Sports Ends in a Vowel every other Tuesday, bi-monthly, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Cafe Kubal studios. Gina, as always, I appreciate you, and I thank you so much.
Thank you, Dan. Have a great day today. Appreciate you, too.
All right, you too. Take care.
All right, bye-bye.
See you. That coming from Gina Castelli one more time here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We're jumping into hour number 2. We're going to take a step aside here inside the Cafe Kubal studios, inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin'. What's poppin' next is playoff season for our high school student athletes on the football side in the wonderful world of Central and Upstate New York. Coming up next, 2021 Section 3 Class A playoffs are on their way, and West Genesee Wildcats head football coach Joe Corley is up next. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville beats. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. He kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt as we get set for the playoffs. And yes, playoffs, sectional, states, it's all here, it's all back. Thank the good Lord, and may it continue to only get better and better from here for all of us, obviously health and safety-wise, and of course for Central and Upstate New York as they send a bunch of teams into the postseason here in Section 3, Class A playoffs. West Genesee Wildcats head football coach Joe Corley, who is no stranger by any stretch of the imagination to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, is here with us inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, and it is always my honor and my privilege to speak with Joe, so let's bring him in here live. Joe, how are we doing today?
Doing great, Dan. Thanks. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. And Joe, I mean, first thing is just what it means to you to hear me say playoffs and that they're happening. Sectionals is here, states after that we're looking at an actual postseason for these young men and women across a bunch of different sports, including football, just what that means to you.
It means a lot, Dan. You know, looking back, I can't imagine life without sectionals. These kids work so hard; they deserve to have their shot at a championship. But we lived it a year ago. You know, last fall was probably one of the toughest, stretches of my life. Not having football, not having playoffs, and then going through the spring season without playoffs. It was a great experience for our guys, but not having sectionals, it was just different. So to have it back, it means so much to the kids, and a chance for their hard work to truly pay off.
Yeah, and Joe, I mean, not just the fact that, I mean, you get to play in them, but that they're even here coming out of a season. I mean, this past season was in March. It was strange. You and I were, talking and sitting there at the Wildcat, and it was just a very different and unique feel to it. Just what it means to you to not just have a postseason, but that you've gotten through a normal regular season and have gotten to, at bare minimum, know what it feels like to be under the fall lights.
I'll tell you what's crazy, Dan, is the spring season felt more normal than the fall. This fall, we have dealt with more distractions. We lost 2 games due to COVID. We almost had a 3rd game taken from us for the same reason. So we kind of dodged a bullet there with that 3rd game, but we've had so many distractions this season, just in terms of, kids not able to make practice for a variety of reasons. It's been one distraction after another, but, to look up on that golf course from the practice field and see orange leaves and knowing that we're playing football in the fall, that's something special and a great feeling.
Here with Joe Corley, West Genesee Wildcats head football coach, as they get set for the playoffs. Looking at the field, number 1, Indian River, number 8, Auburn is in your bracket here, as you will face off against number 5, Carthage, as the 4th seed here for West Genesee. And so you have Carthage coming up, and then the winner of Indian River and Auburn. On the bottom of the bracket, we have number 2 seeded Fayetteville Manlius against 7, Central Square, and then number 3, Whitesboro against 6, Christian Brothers Academy. What are your thoughts when I say, these other 7 schools, just your thoughts of the field this season and just what that field looks like?
Any team can win a championship. Going into Class A, we knew going in this was a competitive class. Our division was competitive. Every game's competitive. I truly mean that when I say this thing's up for grabs, and any team can beat anybody any given Friday, because all these teams are very, very talented. They're very well coached. They're very organized. They're great programs. And every program, to some extent, has had a high level of success over the years. So this thing's up for grabs. Everyone's got to play their best football come quarterfinal time, or they're going to be watching next week.
Bring me into the decision to move to Class A.
It was an enrollment thing. Our enrollment dropped below the AA mark. I think the minimum for AA is 1,024, and I think we're about 1,018, so we're just below that mark. So it was a state-fed decision. No one else is for that.
For you to move from Class AA to Class A for this season, how did it affect you? Did it affect you as a coach to be in a world where there's obviously a different makeup? What did it do for you to be in a different class?
Football's football, man. We're going to put film on Saturday morning. We're going to meet as a staff Sunday. We're going to game plan, and we're going to do our thing Monday through Thursday and play Friday. We always say it's nameless and faceless opponents. In regards to Class A, aside from the fact that we knew it was going to be highly competitive, it's just football for us and no different. And what's interesting is a lot of the teams that we play are teams that we traditionally played in AA. We opened up with Beeville. We played FM, CBA, and Auburn, who were all AA teams. We played Fulton, who we played last spring. So it's not that unfamiliar in that regard. So, it's just football, Dan. It comes down to preparing to play and putting it out there Friday night. It doesn't matter who you're playing.
And Joe, you said obviously that this season there's a lot of things happening that were beyond football, with COVID, with the unfortunate passing away of a student athlete, a kid in our community. How have you worked to corral this team? How have you worked to bring everybody together as as you go through this? I mean, how did you find a way as a coach with the passing of Tyler Chrisman and everything else going on? How did you find a way to still get these young men to try and focus on football and navigate through it when COVID and unfortunate happenings in the sport of football in general, when things out of your control happen? How did you find a way to continue to lead this team?
Just by what you said, Dan, there are things that are out of our control. And the shutdown with COVID, once we lost the game because Indian River had the shutdown, then we had to shut down the following week. I just kept, reinforcing to the kids that these are factors that are out of our control, and there's things that we can control moving forward, and that's what you do. So we knew we couldn't practice as a team. We couldn't gather as a team. So, we sent the kids workouts, electronically, and we trusted the kids would do those things on their own time. And, judging by how they came back that following Monday and prepared for ESM, I believe they did the things they had to do to stay in shape. So it comes down to controlling the things that you can control. And that's all you can worry about. The outside factors, you can't let them impact you. You can't let them be an influence. And that's mental toughness, in my opinion. I've always described that as mental toughness. What happened with Tyler Chrisman was a horrible tragedy. And it was a horrible accident. And that's what I told our kids. This was nobody's fault. It was a terrible accident. And we did everything we could to support his family and their community and honor Tyler. And I think, it probably helped our kids that, most of them weren't there to witness it. So I don't think they were quite as impacted as they would be had they been there. But it's about doing the right thing, and we did the right thing in that matter. So, we were able to focus on football moving forward from that.
And for you, Joe, I mean, to have a very strange last 18 months, plus, it still affects this season for you, as you mentioned, and everything else going on. Coaches always talk about controlling the controllables, and you spoke on, what you can't control. You have to just kind of navigate through to the best of your ability and be the best you. Does it get frustrating? Do you ever have that quiet moment in the house where you're like, jeepers, how many things have to happen in the last year and a half to these kids? I mean, do you ever have those moments where you just feel like, that these kids deserve a break? And do you take that maybe negative energy and then transform it into something positive? Like, do you have those tough moments? And when you have them, do you have a means of kind of taking the energy and turning it into something positive?
When we got the call Monday afternoon going into the Auburn week, I had everything set. Practice plan was done. Scouting report was done. Scout cards drawn, scripted out. Everything was ready to roll. We had a good game plan going into it. And then I got the call about 1:45 Monday afternoon that we had a positive case and that we were going to be quarantining a lot of kids as a result. And we weren't going to be able to play. And I took my scout book, I took my folders, I took my scout cards, and I threw them right across my office and said, how can this be happening again? Coming off of a tough loss to FM, one where our kids battled back and showed some serious character and grit. Here we are with our chance to bounce back and prove what we're all about once again. And this happens. And, fortunately, the process, ran its course, and we were able to get, those kids out of quarantine because we did follow the guidelines that are in place and that protected us. But that day and a half was tough. But my message to the kids was, once again, this is something we can't control. But, at that point, the kids that were not quarantined, we're going to lift. We're going to go out on the football field. We're going to work on some fundamentals. We're going to clean some things up, and we'll play a little bit of 4-on-4 or some 8-man football, make it fun, and get whatever we can out of this week and then move forward next week. Fortunately, things worked out for us Tuesday afternoon, and we were able to come back together as a team and prepare and play the game. But again, that's all you can do. And the only thing we could control at that point was how we were going to approach the week with the guys that we had, and that's what we were going to
do. Yeah, speaking here with Joe Corley, West Genesee Wildcats head football coach, ahead of the 2021 Section 3 Class A playoffs. This season, you go into the playoffs with a 4-2 record, but I want people to understand something. You were very close to 6-0, and the only thing that separates 4-2 from 6-0 is 2 points, losing at Beeville 14-13 and home against FM 21-20. What does it say about your team that your wins, I mean, at ESM 27-11, but you've won your last 3 games in a row, blew out Auburn 40-8, shut out CBA on the road, and shut out Fulton at home. You've scored in the last 2 weeks' play, you've scored 53 points and allowed 0. And in the games you've lost, you lost by 2 points. What is that saying about West Genesee that nobody's really had your number and you've had everybody else's, especially more so lately?
The Wildcats are a pretty good football team, Dan. That's what I've been telling our guys. If I have to pick a favorite to win the Section 3 championship, I'm picking us. And we need to believe that. We can't just say it. We've got to believe it, and we've got to work for it. But when we put the film on from the FM game, put the film on from the Beeville game, and we can single out specific missed opportunities in those games, it's frustrating, but it also fuels our guys because it tells us that, hey, look, we're not getting beat because West Genesee is a bad football team. We're getting beat because of simple, correctable mistakes. Now, let's do something about it. Let's go out on the football field. Let's get it right, move forward, and make sure we don't make the same mistakes again. And we've been able to do that the last few weeks, so I'm really proud of the kids. The wins are great, but the mental toughness, the result, the fortitude that it takes to be able to grind it out, in the face of all that adversity, all those distractions, but still to stay focused on our goals and move forward as a team the way we have. It says so much about the kids. Proud of them, proud of our coaches for leading the path. And it's been a great run. And the important thing is it's not done yet. We still have a long ways to go if we can stay focused and keep getting better.
Where does the leadership come from on this year's team? Who are you seeing it from?
And the players. I mean, and the players, these kids, they've taken ownership of their team, and they're doing the right things day in and day out in practice. And they're not perfect. They have their off days, like everyone does. But they always bounce back and get it right the next day, and they always show up ready to play Friday night. They always find a way to get there. For you, is there anybody on this team that really has made the most grandiose jump? Is there someone that sticks out to you that just really came through for you in such a big way this year as you head into the playoffs? Our quarterback, River Automall, on offense has been outstanding. He's obviously throwing the ball well, making plays, running the ball well. But it's his leadership and the way he has just taken control of the offense. He's the vocal leader in the huddle. He quiets the huddle down. He takes control of things. And when things don't go well, he gets guys right. When things do go well, he gives credit to his teammates. He's a natural leader. He takes pride in his position, in his role, and it's been something special to see. And defensively, Colin McGavin, our linebacker, he's our veteran. He's our third-year starter. He ended up starting for us the back end of his sophomore year, and we're really seeing him, not just his talent and the way he plays, but his leadership standing out this year and getting guys lined up, helping guys get adjusted to things. And he's the spirit of the defense. He's the one getting guys fired up. But he also has, a lot of good guys around him. We had our veteran secondary. We have some returners in our D-line. So having that experience in that side of the ball has helped him tremendously.
That coming from Joe Corley. Joe, any final notes on why people should come out to West Genny this weekend on this Friday, October 29th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time as you take on Carthage? Anything you want to say to the community?
What else are you doing on a Friday night in Central New York, man? Friday Night Football is what it's all about. The lights are on. The Wildcat Nation's going to be there. It's going to be an electric and fun atmosphere. Go pick apples on Sunday. Watch. College football's on Saturday. Let's get together and support a great group of kids Friday night.
That coming from Joe Corley, West Genesee Wildcats head football coach, a mainstay on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and you see us out at the Wildcat Sports Pub plenty. Joe, as always, thank you for all you do. Thank you for leading our kids, and I appreciate everything that you put forward. So my best to you as the playoffs start this Friday.
Well, I appreciate it, Dan. You've always been good to our kids and promoted them in a positive way, so I appreciate that, and I always do.
Well, it's my pleasure, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say roll tide before I let you go.
Roll tide roll, baby. Roll tide roll.
I'll talk to you soon, Joe.
Thanks, Dan. Take care.
Take care. And, Joe, big-time Alabama fan. So we'll take a step aside here for a fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Coming up in just a little bit, we're going to be joined by Dave Kline, the head coach of the CNS North Stars, as they get set for their 2021 Section 3 Class AA playoffs right after this.
Avicolli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicolli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicolli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicollis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout central and upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. As a patient, what do we want? To be cared for, to be listened to, and to have someone walk us through the process on our path to victory. Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics does all of those things beautifully, with Dr. Mark Petropoli leading the team on 791 West Genesee Street in Skaneateles, New York, located minutes from beautiful Skaneateles Lake. Whatever your injury may be from head to toe, preventative care, rehab, physical therapy, laser therapy, and surgery are all available at Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, where they care about us, they listen to us, and they understand that everyone's path to victory is a little bit different. Let them help you on yours by calling 315-685-7544 to make your appointment today. That's 315-685-7544. And find out more information at victorysportsmedicine.com.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. Hope you're all having yourselves a tremendous morning this morning. I know it's rainy, I know it's ugly, but this coffee cup with the sun rising out of it hopefully will lift up your spirits. I want to thank Mark Products for their incredible work at bringing my creations to life. And I want to thank John Granquist who helped to bring my original vision of all of my logos, including the new Wake Up Call logo, to life by just his graphic designing prowess. So thank you to John and thank you to Mark Products for all that you have done to make this a reality, that this coffee cup with the sun rising out of it always lifts up my spirits and gives me a smile when I get to wear it across my chest or however I get to wear it, even on days where it's raining. So God bless and a thank you to the incredible team that has done an incredible job bringing the things that I hoped for to life. So thank you for that. With that being said here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, letting you know what's coming up here in just a few minutes. We're going to be joined by the CNS North Stars head coach Dave Kline. North Stars are the number 1 seed in the Class AA playoffs for Section 3 here in Central New York. They're going to take on number 8 Nottingham on Friday, October 29th at 6:30 p.m. at CNS. Also on Friday, October 29th in the same bracket, 4-seeded Liverpool will take on 5-seeded Utica Proctor as they will face off at 6:30 as well in Liverpool. And then on Saturday, October 30th, we'll see number 2 Corcoran take on number 7 Henniger at 10 a.m. Saturday, October 30th at Corcoran. And we'll see number 3 Beeville take on number 6 Rome Free Academy Friday, October 29th at 7 p.m. And the winners of the Corcoran-Henniger game will play the winner of the Rome Free Academy Baldwinsville game, as well as Liverpool Utica Proctor's winner playing the winner of CNS Nottingham. Those games on Friday, November 5th. And so a lot of great stuff coming up. Very excited in just a few moments that we're going to be welcoming Dave Kline to the show here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Yet another person who's been no stranger to the broadcast and a coach that I appreciate and respect as he continues to build up our youth here in our community. And I thank him so much for all the work that he's done up to this point. So big ups to that. A very strange World Series is going on in the background, folks. The team that I thought was the weakest team coming into the playoffs, the Atlanta Braves. And now they're 0-0. The Houston Astros are 0-0. The Astros got a chance to win another World Series a couple years after cheating has made the baseball world not be a big fan of Houston. The Atlanta Braves were a team that came from a division where the Mets were without Jacob deGrom, and they fell. The Phillies eventually fell, and the Braves rose up in a division that was highly contested, but also a division where it was like, you take it, no, you take it, no, you take it, no, you take it. And there was nobody really commanding the division. Well, the Braves show that all you have to do is get enough to the playoffs and play your best ball when it's commanded of you. Give your best shot, and they had nothing to lose. Now they're in the World Series against the Houston Astros. The Atlanta Braves and the Houston Astros will start things off on Fox at 8:09 p.m. Eastern Time in Houston. And folks, whether you believe it or not, this is your World Series starting tonight, Tuesday, October 26th at 8:09 p.m. Eastern Time. Charlie Morton up against Frambler Valdez, and the tickets are over $300 for this right now. Atlanta at Houston, which will happen again on Wednesday when we see Atlanta at Houston once again for Game 2. And Game 3 will go to Atlanta for the first time on Sunday. We'll go to Atlanta for the first time Saturday, October 30th, and then Sunday, October 31st. At least we'll see these 4 games. 2 in Houston and 2 in Atlanta. 3 in Atlanta. So I've messed up my schedule here. So again, Atlanta at Houston on Tuesday, October 26th today, Wednesday, October 27th, and then Friday, October 29th, Saturday, October 30th, and if needed on Sunday, October 31st, we will see the games in Atlanta, as Houston and Atlanta will give us a World Series that most probably did not anticipate, yet here we are. And that is what they always say. That's why they play the game. So with that being said, very excited, speaking of that's why they play the game, to have Mr. Dave Kline joining us here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life, as we work to get Dave on the broadcast here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. And we have Coach Kline. Hello? Yes, we have Coach Kline here with us on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. And as I said before, no stranger to the broadcast by any stretch of the imagination. Your CNS North Stars head football coach and the number 1 seed for the 2021 Section 3 Class AA playoffs, Dave Kline and the North Stars. Mr. Kline, how are we doing today?
I'm doing well, Ben. How are you? How you doing? Thanks for the great introduction.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm doing very well, Coach. You know, I'm doing my best right now in this conversation because we're talking about high school football in the state of New York, sectionals, and the hope of states in the background. I'm doing good today because the kids had a season, the kids have the playoffs and sectionals, and they have the hopes of states. We finally are in a place where, God willing, and by the grace of God, nothing will be taken away from these kids, and that's what's making me happiest this morning.
Oh, absolutely, no doubt about it. Finally, it's a long road to get here, and thank goodness we are, because watching those kids every day on the practice field and seeing how happy they are just to be out there and be together, it's amazing.
You know, and for you, Coach, I mean, for everything that the coaches have been through for this last 18 months, how would you define and describe kind of what you've had to go through now that you can kind of look back upon it? And granted, you know, the pandemic is still here and there's still protocol and things that you have to do, of course, but when you look back on these last 18 months, how would you best describe what you had to go through?
Well, obviously going through it as a coach's standpoint, as you're looking at it, you know, obviously, you know, all the tragedies everybody's gone through. It's been a horrible thing. But as a coach going through it, you know, every day you wake up with that knot in your stomach saying, is this going to be the day they're going to pull the plug on us? Is this going to be the day that something, you know, negative is going to happen, that it's going to cost us our season? You know, so it's always that knot in the pit of your belly thinking, is this it?
Yeah, and you know, and how have you dealt with that knot in your belly? Have you loosened the knot a little bit as the season's gone on?
Yeah, we loosened a little bit. I mean, we're just trying to do every single precaution imaginary. You know, the kids, whenever they're indoors, are fully masked up. We're never congregating in an area for more than 7 minutes in small groups, 7-8 minutes, to keep them, you know, that way you stay distanced. You know, a good number of our kids are vaccinated, so that, you know, that's a positive there. You know, and we're just doing everything we can. You know, a lot of stuff is through video links and, you know, sending the kids our video that we want them to watch and with notes on it, where we'd normally be, you know, working together as a group. But now we're kind of, you know, trusting the kids to, if you want to get good, you want to win, you want to be better, you got to watch this video and look at the notes we're sending you.
Yeah, you know, and speaking here with Dave Kline, the head coach of the CNS North Stars football program, as they get set to go into the Class AA playoffs here in Section 3 in Central and Upstate New York. Looking back upon the season, starting off the season with a loss, what did it teach your team to come out of the gate against Clifton at home and lose 32-13? What was the biggest takeaway from that? You went on a 3-game winning streak after that, so bring me into exactly what that game did for you.
Well, you know, the thought process of that game was pretty simple. It was, you know, we went into that game. We knew we were playing a very, very good team out of Jersey. We knew they had a lot of people back from last year. We knew they were going to be a tough physical team. And, you know, you could open up the season with a game playing with somebody that you might be able to beat pretty easily. You know, or you could play a scrimmage to start a season if you wanted to. You know, but I didn't think we'd get anything out of that. So I wanted to test us, test our mental, see how we'd react if we got down. You know, what were we going to be as a team? You know, if a team came out and punched us in the face, how are we going to react? Are we going to, you know, keep battling? Are we going to give up? What are we going to do? And, you know, I think that gave me a good view of what our team was like.
Yeah, you know, and like you said, you could play a scrimmage, you could play a team that you think you're going to have no problem with, but you decided to challenge yourself. How important is it for you to have that challenge, to put your team out there, to play up against a team that was going to bring it? You know, and so, I mean, for you, how important was it for you to not only have a game like that, but to have it right at the beginning of the season, not in the middle, you know what I mean? Not at the middle, not at the end. I understand scheduling and certain things can't happen, but what does that do for a team to get such a big challenge in the beginning? What does that do to kind of affect the psyche of the team, affect the mentality of the team, and put the team in a place where they can say, okay, we know at the beginning of September what we need to work on, as opposed to we're just finding ourselves at the end of October?
Right. Well, you know, the big thing it did, it also made preseason a lot more I want to say, it's important, but I want to say a lot more important because, we all had to be after it as coaches, as players. We had 10 days to prepare to play a very good team that already had 2 weeks longer than we did to prepare. So, that put a sense of urgency in the preseason, a sense of working hard, extra hard, getting after it, knowing that we had to go play a game in 10 days. Then also, again, you talked about, we saw on film, okay, we knew week one playing a strong physical team, where we were weak, where we were stronger, what we need to work on, where we need to improve, what's going well for us, and what changes we need to make. Save that time rather than waiting for game 3 or 4 to figure it out. We were able to figure it out week 1, or actually week 0, which helped quite a bit.
And speaking here with Dave Kline, the head coach of the CNS North Stars football program, from their coach, as you stepped forward to take a look at that 3-game winning streak, bring me into at Nottingham, Utica Proctor, and at Beeville, just what you saw out of your team in that 3-game winning streak where you allowed a combined 21 points while scoring a combined 110, I believe it was. You outscored your opponents 110 to 21 in that 3-game stretch.
Yeah. Well, it was just starting to do, we always talk about it, doing what we do, and doing it well. Offensively, we don't get crazy. We don't try to draw up everything new for every team we play. We try to really, little tweaks to what we do, but we want to keep that muscle memory. We want to keep the kids understanding what we're doing and just try to progress. Try to figure out, what players belong where, at the best situation. Or even last weekend against Rome, we discovered, some different things we can do with Testa. So that was interesting. Defensively, it was just a matter of, you went against, probably the most physical team to go against all year already. And that was week 0. So now you took their best shot. We were able to stand and fight for a while. But now we need to, really come back and continue to grow.
And as you get that 3-game winning streak after losing to Clifton, you lost a touchdown separation at Liverpool, 21-14. At that point in the season, just a few weeks ago on October 8th, what were the talking points for you as a head coach coming off of that loss at Liverpool?
Well, coming off that loss at Liverpool was simply, Liverpool played a very good game. Got to give them credit. They came out. They executed very well. Those things that I thought we didn't do well, those points were brought up to the kids. And it was also, we keep telling the kids, we told them when we walked off the dome, when I met with the kids in the locker room after that opening season game, we're going to do whatever it takes. We're going to work. We're going to stumble along the way. But whatever it takes to get back here to finish off in this dome again on November 11th or 13th, I'm not sure the date. But I think November 13th, whatever we got to do to finish off in that dome on November 13th and be in the winning locker room is what we're going to do. It might be wins and losses on the way. Things are going to happen. We got to accept that and move forward. And that's kind of how we addressed it with the kids after that loss. It was, we need to refocus. We won 3 in a row. Maybe we're starting to feel a little bit happy with ourselves, a little content. As kids, as coaches, as everybody, we need to make sure we get ourselves all refocused, redialed in again, and we move forward and understand that just because you slip on that jersey and walk on the field doesn't guarantee you a win. You got to go out there and earn it, but you earn it Monday through Thursday.
And coming from head coach Dave Kline, CNS North Stars, as they get set to head in to the 2021 Section 3 Class AA playoffs. Coach, you brought up Testa here. J.J. Razmovsky and Anthony Testa, just what you could tell me about these two gentlemen that have, ran command for your team and just what your takeaways have been this season to dive a little deeper into J.J.'s play as well as what you've seen from Testa.
It's actually Jackson, though. You got to remember that's the younger brother.
Oh, Jackson. I'm sorry. I'm thinking in my head. I know I'm shortening it because I'm thinking about JJ and all my time. So yeah. Jackson and Anthony Testa. Yep. Jackson, please forgive me because I know other older brother, younger brother things, that he's probably going to want my head. But no, for Jackson and Anthony, what you could say.
It's just, those two were unbelievable. They helped each other so much in the beginning of the season. All through the season, they were working together, and, they were competing to be the starting quarterback, but they also both knew, they each do certain things better than the other one. And they each had different abilities. And, and as we progressed through the season, we started to see that, heck, Anthony can do a lot of things for us so that when, if he's not playing quarterback, there's a lot of other things he can do. And that's the thing we're trying to do right now. We're trying to make ourselves, and what a great unselfish kid he is. He's like, Coach, I will play anywhere, do anything, whatever you need in order for us to win.
And when you see from Jackson and from Testa, when you see these two guys with different talent sets and whatnot, are you a fan of a two quarterback system? Are you a fan of playing it through and utilizing it? Are there wrinkles you can bring into the playoffs? Are you? I know you said that Testa said, "Hey, I'll do anything." To win, as you just mentioned here, and put me wherever you want to put me. But are you a fan of a two quarterback system?
A complete two quarterback system, no, it's hard because it's hard to get into let that quarterback get into a groove. It becomes difficult at times, but but as we keep going through, there's certain things kids can do, and you got to take their abilities and things that they can do very well, and you got to let them shine at those abilities.
That coming from the head coach, Dave Kline of CNS. We'll take a step aside and be back right after this fast break.
Cafe Cabal Mobile Cafe brings the cafe experience to you. We'll roll out to your neighborhood or office, ready to serve our locally crafted espresso bar to our loyal patrons. Inquire at cafecubal.com. Cafe Cabal, coffee for the soul.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, located on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, is home to over 40 flavors with more than 200 flavors in their total wheelhouse. Sky's the limit for this sweet and savory Central New York company. Keep it local at your parties, fundraisers, wedding showers, baby showers, and more by calling 315-450-MA-PA. That's 315-450-6272 for popcorn bars with custom flavors and colors at your upcoming event. Make sure to visit them on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. And for more information, go to maandpassnacks.com. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
Here at Progressive Dental, we understand the importance of regular dental visits and preventive care. Cleanings and checkups are essential to good oral health. We have multiple locations in the southern tier, so come visit us in Binghamton, Enwell, Kirkwood, Montrose, and Norwich. For self-pay non-insured patients, we offer the Smile Plan, which covers all of your cleanings, x-rays, and exams for an affordable yearly price. Call 607-754-2273 or 607-754-CARE to make an appointment today. For more information, visit our website at progressivedentalny.com.
The Millhouse Market, located on 3790 New York 13 in Pulaski, New York, is worth the drive every time. Make sure you make your way out Tuesday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. and on Sundays from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. to the Millhouse Market, where you can enjoy their general store, their indoor dining, and their drive-through pickup window, where you can grab your food and go without having to leave the comfort of your own vehicle. There for you with their homemade breads, desserts, quinoa bowls, rice bowls, salads, brick oven pizzas, and the sandwiches named after the families that helped to settle today's Pulaski. Ingrained in our community and ingrained in our taste buds, the Millhouse Market is absolutely, positively, without question, worth the drive every single time. Be it a mile or 30, find your way out to the Millhouse Market today on 3790 New York 13 in Pulaski, New York. Back here with Dave Kline for a few final points here as the team gets set, CNS North Stars, for the upcoming Class AA playoffs here inside of Section 3. Taking a look at this, Dave, just, to see the field for Section 3, your thoughts, Section 3 Class AA, on, going 1 through 8. Obviously, you're the number 1 seed. You'll be playing up against number 8 seed at Nottingham. But then you have 4 Liverpool against 5 Utica Proctor, 2 Corcoran against 7 Henniger, and number 3 Beeville against number 6 Rome Free Academy. What's your take of the field, and how would you best describe the level of competition that's out there this year?
Well, I got to be honest with you. As you look at that field, and especially you look at the last several weeks, anybody can win this thing this year. Anybody can win it. Anybody, you're talking about high school kids. Everybody's got to be dialed in every single day, every single week. The kids, they make mistakes out there, and it could happen to any of us. So, this is possible that any team out there can win the sectional title this year. Again, you look at it, Corcoran the last couple of weeks, they beat Liverpool, they beat Beeville, they stubbed their toe against us. We stubbed that, we lose to Liverpool, Liverpool loses to Beeville. It's just that whole mixture. And then Utica Proctor is always the unknown because they got some athletes down there that can run around there. Just, they got some amazing kids down there. So it's really, really an interesting and open field, I think.
And to get back to your end of your season, you defeated Corcoran at home and then Rome Free Academy on the road, outscoring them combined 75-6, shutting out Corcoran, allowing 6 to Rome Free. Offensively, your team has had little to no issue. Obviously in your wins, you're scoring 30+. In the losses, it's around the 13, 14 points. As you look at it stepping forward, where would you say your offense is at right now? And defensively, are you feeling a little bit better after you look back on that film of Clifton and Liverpool? Has the defense improved? And how would you describe this offense, which we can know can obviously get firing and get hot this season?
The defense has definitely improved, and of course, looking at those games, it made us look at some different things that we need to do as coaches, and the different techniques we need to work on with the kids and get them better, Again, it's blame goes to us too. We need to make sure our kids are well prepared, and that's what we're working on as we progress through this. And the other part, offensively, we just stuck with what we've been doing well. And, we just try to grow on that and get really and do what we've done over the years and just kind of just focusing on that and doing, our trademark of who we are. So, just got to keep focused and keep playing every single week and keep getting better every day.
Is Anthony Testa trying to do his best Sean Tucker, having 3 carries for 79 yards in your last game?
I don't know, but I'll take that any day of the week.
Final note here, 2 final points here. I know Mike Washington has moved on to Buffalo, but your thoughts about what Mike meant to the program and him repping the program, and maybe some pride you have for him playing for the Buffalo Bulls.
It's great. Mike's a great kid. He does, he's a great representative of our program. He's just amazing. I'm hopefully, maybe one of these weekends I can get out there and take a look at him in Buffalo.
And
watch him.
This weekend, people have something to do. Friday, October 29th at 6:30 p.m. against Nottingham. Why should the fans come out? What do you want to say to the community about the CNS North Stars and what they should be doing Friday night?
Our fans, our community is unbelievable. Our support we have from our fan base, our community is it's ridiculous and beyond none. Anything I've experienced before. Just come on out, keep showing us our support. It's huge having that crowd at home. We're going to try and be exciting, have some fun out there, and try to bring home a W this weekend.
It's Dave Kline coming from the CNS North Stars, their head football coach. Dave, as always, I appreciate you. I appreciate everything that you have done for the community, past, present, and what's to come in the future. I look forward to this, and I know that as the number 1 seed, there's, you get everybody's best game, but like you said, here in the playoffs, anybody can win this thing. So I send you my best, and obviously positivity as always, and I can't thank you enough for your support over the years.
All right, thank you, Dan. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll talk with you soon.
All right, bye-bye.
That coming from Dave Kline once again here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, the CNS North Stars head football coach, as they get set for their Class AA playoffs here in 2021 for Section 3. And once again, folks, that game is going to be Friday, October 29th at 6:30 p.m. So you got a lot of games going on this coming Friday, a little bit on Saturday to start off the quarterfinals for the Class AA and the Class A. And want to thank Dave Kline for being a part of it. It's now time for us to jump into our final portion of every Tuesday broadcast, and that is your ingredients to success. Proudly brought to you by Avicolli's on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road. Avicolli's open Tuesday through Sunday for you, and I want to thank the community for all that you have done over time to be here for Avicolli's, especially during these last 18 months, has been imperative. So I want to send a big thanks to each and every single one of you for that. As you see on your screen, those of you on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, and facebook.com/livenowdt, getting a look at the margarita pizza as well as the meat lovers. So many different things at Avicolli's, and my by far favorite veal parmesan that I have found in central and upstate New York. Fantastic sub that you can get there. We're going to be at Avicolli's tonight. You can come out and see us. That opportunity is at 6 p.m. with the girls volleyball team of Liverpool. So come out and see the Liverpool Warriors girls volleyball team tonight on site, on location, Tuesday, October 26th at 6 p.m. Girls volleyball, Liverpool Warriors, Avicolli's. Be out there at the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York. And the ingredients to success every single week, they change as far as what the topic is, what we're going to be discussing in the ingredients to success. And I would say my topic for today would be leaving the past in the past. You know, because that's something that I've struggled with over time. I know other people have struggled with that as well. Leaving the past in the past. Knowing that when something happens, it happened. And why would you want it to happen over and over again, right? You get in a car accident, why would you want to relive the car accident every single day? You know? Why would you want to have PTSD if you were in a war? Why would anybody want to relive pain over and over and over again? So I ask you the same question when it comes to your life. Why relive something that hurts you repeatedly? That's a question that a lot of us have to answer, and it's a question that some of us don't even know that we're asking, because living in the past is something that happens sometimes right under our nose, and we don't even know that we're doing it. So my best advice to you when it comes to living in the past is don't. And how do you find the ingredients to success to do that? Well, you have to know yourself. Know when you're spiraling. Know when you're going backward. Know when you're focusing on things that don't have to do with your current situation, but had to do with your past situation or situations. The person in front of you, the job in front of you, the destination in front of you should not have any connection in a negative way to what's happened before, right? Ex-girlfriends and ex-boyfriends have no place with your current girlfriends and boyfriends. Ex-bosses have no place with your current bosses. A place that you lived has no connection to the place that you're going to, in the sense of whatever negative stuff happened, yes, you're supposed to learn from it. You're supposed to grow from it, but you're not supposed to let it take you down. What would life be like if every day when the sun set and rose again, you thought about the sun setting the day before? Then you would never appreciate a sunrise or a sunset for the rest of your life. Groundhog Day is annoying, so doing it to yourself is just crazy. Don't live Groundhog Day every day. Enjoy each new day. Every day is a present. That's why it's called that. And every moment counts. So, my ingredients to success of not letting your past become your present is to understand when you're doing it. Understand when you're feeling it. Talk things out with people. Work things out with people. And don't let somebody else's sins, don't condemn somebody for somebody else's sins. Don't condemn a new boss for what an old boss did. New girlfriend or boyfriend, a new friend, a new roommate, a new opportunity, a new job, a new place. Don't condemn it for what's happened before, because then you become the enemy of your own success. And that's not what we're here for. We're for the ingredients to success, not the enemies of. This coming to you from Avicolli's on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York. Head out to Avicolli's every Tuesday through Sunday, including tonight, Tuesday, October 26th at 6 p.m., as I will be featuring the Liverpool Warriors girls volleyball team, celebrating and spotlighting their program located just a couple steps from Avicolli's up the road. This is Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and I proudly thank each and every single one of you for being a part of the show, and would love to tell you, as always, and once again, Wednesday is Dolphin time. Find your way to those Dolphins every single Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. The first and third Wednesday of every single month is AD and DT, where I have the opportunity to speak with Lemoyne College Athletics Director Bob Beretta. And every second and fourth Wednesday is the Dolphin Dive, where I have the opportunity to be with a student athlete, coach, and or staff member and celebrate their story and their connection to Lemoyne. And we have a great Dolphin Dive coming up for you this Wednesday, October 27th at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Find out all of the great things happening between Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, Dan Tortora Broadcast Media, and the Lemoyne College Dolphins by going to our Lemoyne tab on wakeupcalldt.com, as well as being here every Wednesday at 9 a.m. on Facebook, on YouTube, and on MixLR, and of course by going to the Lemoyne Dolphins website, lemoynedolphins.com. Wake Up Call is also the proud multimedia marketing partner of the Marywood University Pacers. Pacer Pride happening every single month as well. And we got an all-new special for you this Friday, October 29th at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time with a very successful young coach at Marywood University, and that is Mr. Rob Aarons, who joins us this Friday, October 29th at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time for a video special on Facebook.com/WakeUpCallDT and on YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT, which will then be put to our Marywood page on WakeUpCallDT.com, and you can see my sit down with Rob Aarons, the men's and women's head coach for cross country and track and field. Pacer Pride happens every single month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora exclusively through our multimedia marketing partnership. This month you've had Executive Director of Athletics Pat Murphy, as well as women's basketball head coach Jen Carlton, men's basketball head coach Enrico Mastriani, both coming off of them starting practice up. And you're now going to have, to round out the month, Mr. Rob Aarons. Pacer Pride happening every single month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find out more on our Marywood tab on wakeupcalldt.com. Be with us this Friday, October 29th at 10:30 a.m. Eastern.com, and go to marywoodpacers.com. With that being said, folks, I want to thank you all for joining me inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios. Cafe Kubal with locations on 208 North Townsend Street, where you can also go Kubal Co-works and rent out a space for your business, use the podcasting headquarters, and have meeting space as well. For a lot of you working at home right now, a perfect place to find where you can actually put an address for your business outside of the home. Great opportunities waiting for you at 208 North Townsend Street for Kubal Co-works, and Cafe Kubal right beneath that, where you can grab your coffee and all your snacks, your pumpkin spice chai, how I fill my cup up. And of course you can go to 401 South Salina Street, 3501 James Street, all in Syracuse, downtown Syracuse inside of Golisano's Children's Hospital, and on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, and on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at their drive-through indoor and outdoor location in North Syracuse at Sweetheart Corners. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora once again welcomes you live every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Watching on youtube.com/WakeUpCallDT, Facebook.com/WakeUpCallDT, and Facebook.com/LiveNowDT. You can listen by going to MixLR.com/WakeUpCallDT and to the homepage on WakeUpCallDT.com, also every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And once the shows go live, you can check out the archives on Stitcher, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, MixLR, and Podbean by searching Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. And a proud thanks to all of our incredible partners in Central and Upstate New York: Cafe Cubal, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, Progressive Dental, Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, Avicolli's, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, Canine Campground Dog Boarding, the Millhouse Market, Lemoyne College Dolphins, Pizza Man, Honda City of Liverpool, PB&J's Lunchbox, Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, and Mother's Cupboard. Make your way out to each and every single one of our amazing partners in Central and Upstate New York, including the Marywood University Pacers in Northeast Pennsylvania, just a couple hours from Central New York, and see the difference from each and every single one of them. In the meantime, find us on Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, Twitter at Call DT, and Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. And how I always leave you: God bless, no stress, do your best, and God willing, I'll see you tomorrow.